Hello children, hope you all are well at home. I, Mrs. Anjali Singh, will take up your history classes. Now children, the first chapter which I am going to take up is the Mesopotamian civilization. Now before I start the chapter children, it is very important to know about this word civilization. So, the word civilization comes from the Latin word civitas, which means city. Now in the beginning there were many civilizations like Mesopotamian civilization, Egyptian civilization, Indus Valley civilization and Chinese civilization. Now all these civilizations flourished near to the rivers. There were some reasons that why they settled near to the rivers. First, the rivers provided sufficient water to support large settlements. Second, the land near the rivers was very fertile. People could grow more crops. Third, the rivers served as means of transport. Now if we see this map which is on the screen, you will come to know that the green part is being labeled as the Fertile Crescent. Now this is the part of Mesopotamia which starts from the Mediterranean Sea and it ends in the Persian Gulf. And the regions which were very important found there were in the southern and eastern side, which was Sumer, Babylonia, Akkad and Assyria, right? So these were some important regions. Now, as this area was basically used for doing farming, just because of the two rivers which are found there, one is Tigris and the other one is Euphrates. So is the reason that many people lived there and died there and many civilizations flourished there. That is the reason it is called the cradle of civilization. Okay children, let us come to the sources. Now the sources by which we come to know about the Mesopotamian civilization were the archaeological sources such as pottery, ziggurat which is in Ur, seals, Epic of Gilgamesh which is a literary source, and Gilgamesh was one of the kings of the city-state. Now children, we come to the Mesopotamian cities. There were some very important cities and one of the city was Ur, which was the biggest city and was a trading center from where every trading was done. Fine. Okay, now besides Ur, there were Eridu, Kish, Uruk and Lagash. These all cities were excavated. Now if we talk about Ur was actually divided into three parts. First, the sacred area. Second, the walled city on a mount, and third, the outer portion, the outer town. Now, actually, if we study about Mesopotamia, the plains of Mesopotamia are dotted with mounds. Archaeologists start digging these mounds and some unearthed ruins of ancient towns and cities and collected thousands of seals and tablets with strange marking on them. Henry Rawlinson, a famous archaeologist, in the course of his excavations was able to decipher these inscriptions which helped in unveiling the secrets of this civilization. Children, Mesopotamia had no natural barriers like seas, deserts or mountains. Hence, it was prone to attack by the nomadic tribes. The result of different civilizations rose and fell in Mesopotamia. Hence, it is called cradle of civilization. Let us come to the social classes. The society in Mesopotamia was divided into three classes, right? And when you will see the picture, there are six portions, 6 divisions done. Okay, so we will take up two division as one. The upper class comprised of the ruling class, nobles, and the priest. They led a luxurious life. Their life was very cozy and they were very happy and they were living a comfortable life. Second, the middle class consisted landlords, merchants, traders, craftsmen, and artisans. Then comes the last category, the lower class. It consisted of slaves and the labor class. Slaves were not treated harshly and were given many jobs like plowing, sewing, and household duties. It was having a patriarchal society where men got the highest position in the family. The father was the head of the family. Boys were sent to school. They enjoyed all sort of facilities while girls learned cooking, spinning, and other household work. Some were taught to read and write at home, but actually, women were not treated equal to men. Keep this in your mind, children, that women were not treated equal to men in Mesopotamian civilization. But as we will study about the other civilization, the ladies, the women were equal to men. Now we come to the religion. The Mesopotamian believed in many gods and goddesses. The chief among them were Marduk, Ashur, Enlil, etc. In the Mesopotamian civilization, each city has its own special god. A temple or ziggurat, which I have already shown you on the screen, was dedicated to these gods. The temples were built beautifully by using marbles, colored tiles, and burnt sticks. They were imposing structures built very high in a series of tiers. The temples served as the centers of education, as observatories for the studies of stars and planets. Now, one thing very interesting, it is the Mesopotamian people believed in life after death. Many articles of daily use has been discovered from the graves. They thought that the dead would need these things in the life beyond. Now I'll take up the architecture. Mesopotamian built beautiful temples. As we have studied about ziggurat, that also is a part of beauty, which were dedicated to the city gods. In the field of sculpture, many war scenes have been depicted, many potteries were recovered, but seals were the good example of their craftsmanship in that period. Then comes the Hanging Garden, which was also a beautiful structure made by the king Nebuchadnezzar for his wife because she missed the hilly landscape of her home. Now, they were the first to develop the art of writing. Remember, children, that the art of writing was developed first it was developed by the Mesopotamians, and this sort of writing was known as cuneiform, which was written from right to left. It was a style of pictorial. Pictures were shown in it which were conveying a sort of meaning. And as I told you that it was written from right to left with a sharp object like bone or reed. And you know, children, they developed around 350 signs and they wrote it on a tablet of clay, which they later dried in the sun or baked. Okay, now I'll take up with you about the growth and knowledge, mainly about science and new technologies which were introduced by them. This civilization opened to the world the vast expanses of knowledge in the areas of literature, mathematics, astronomy, etc. We know we have already studied about the literature. That literature source was found in the Epic of Gilgamesh. There were stories in it and poems also. Okay, they possess great knowledge in mathematics. 60 was an important unit in their mathematical system. In the numeral, they used to count it from 60s as we count from tens, right? They were the first to divide an hour into 60 minutes and the minute into 60 seconds. They also divided a circle into 360 degrees. They were the first to develop algebra and geometry. Now, in the field of astronomy, they gave definite names to stars and planets. They could even foretell the timings and dates of eclipses. Now, we'll study about the decline. No, sorry, not the decline. We will study about the kings. Now, this area was actually ruled by many kings. Many kings they ruled. Some of the kings were very powerful. Mostly all the kings were powerful. And the names of these kings were Sargon I, Sargon II, and Hammurabi. These rulers founded powerful empire. They enjoyed unlimited powers and led a luxurious life. They were absolute despot. But Hammurabi looked after the welfare of their subjects. He promoted agriculture by making canals and dikes and also constructed roads for promoting trade and commerce. Now, the earliest complete record of laws was found in Mesopotamia. A Babylonian king, or you can say a Mesopotamian king, he was called Hammurabi. That is from 1792 to 1750 BCE. Okay, he compiled these laws which were very important for ordinary people. Hammurabi's code is carved on a huge stone slab. It lists 282 laws governing trade and commerce, family, civil, and criminal disputes. It prescribes punishments depending on the severity of the offense, the circumstances of the offense, and the status of the offender. Now, lastly, we come on the decline. The Mesopotamian civilization was perhaps the earliest of the river valley civilizations. It lasted many millennia, but ultimately fell into decline. But before it came to its end, it contributed a lot to the society. Its contribution can be seen like the Sumerians. Those who were living in Sumer were the world's first traders. They devised the system of weights and measures. They were the first to develop the art of writing, which is what? Yes, cuneiform. They introduced the construction of domes, columns, etc. And they were the first to make an extensive use of wheel. So, wheel was introduced by them only. They were first to give the world a set of codified laws. Their knowledge in the field of mathematics and astronomy is praiseworthy. So, children, this is the end of the chapter. Now, for you all, it is very important to listen to this explanation many times. And I am sure that you all must be having the picture of the first chapter. Now, read the chapter thoroughly, right? And then only you'll be able to understand each and everything very clearly. And I am confirmed that you will be able to do it. Okay, children? And also I have sent the question answers to you, right? Now you are supposed to make a proper notebook of your history, right? And you will maintain an index right? And then you will do the question answers very neatly. And the thing which I want to remind you, which is very important, that please don't use whiteners, right? If you will concentrate on your work, you will definitely do the correct work, okay? And enjoy good health, be safe in your home, and God bless you. Thank you, children.